So I grew up in a small town, and it seemed like it was a lot easier to be able to help each other out there. And when I first moved to Kansas City, it didn't feel like I had a way to help. And then as soon as I started getting involved with these different nonprofits, I realized the impact that one person in a city of 2 million can make. I want to make Kansas City better, and I want to figure out a way to do that through the limited skills that I have, which maybe that's jumping on the microphone for Win for KC for 5 hours on a Saturday morning, getting to cheer on 1,200 women who are doing, for many of them, their first triathlon, and I get to be there for it. Especially early on when I first started working at the hospital, I would do these stories with these families, then I would go home. Well, these families would go across the street to Ronald McDonald House, some for weeks. And I think that's one of the smaller moments where when a family comes in and you're feeding them tacos, and that is the best part of their day, you realize how many things you might take for granted in a given day. I know some people just give their heart and soul to one organization, and I applaud those that do it that perspective. But I love the fact that I can work with a lot of different groups and that they all celebrate each other. I think you just have to realize that you're not just doing this as a way to check a box. You're doing it as a way to help others, to help yourself, and selfishly, you're going to get better connected and meet some amazing people around town as well.
I'm program manager for the Literacy Lab in Kansas City. I was the only person on the ground here in Kansas City when we launched, so I knew it was going to be a challenge, and I was excited for it, but also very nervous about it. I got to see firsthand how the children that I was working with directly were growing every day and developing and becoming more and more kindergarten ready. And just knowing that I played a role in that just was such a powerful feeling. Children in our pre-K program, when we looked at their benchmark scores at the end of the year last year, over 90% met our criteria for kindergarten readiness, hopefully eliminating the need for programs like our elementary program, which is serving children who are either not reading on grade level or are at risk for not reading on grade level. More than half of those kids, we're starting to close those gaps with their peers in just one school year's time. I had been a recipient of various services and programs throughout my life and was reflective on how those were really helpful to me and impactful to me, but that was my first real time feeling like I was on the other side of that coin, helping to drive impact for somebody else. The idea of being able to go to work every day and do work that really is inspiring and drives you personally was just so attractive, and I couldn't resist it.
We're so grateful to be a couple of givers in a city where it is the spirit of the city.
There's so many organizations you could be a part of, and you find that 1, 2, 3, or 7 or 8 that you're really passionate about, and hopefully it's a fit.
This is how we spend time with people that we really admire, frankly. This is how we spend time with our friends. Brian's a big with Big Brothers Big Sisters, partially because he wants to impact somebody's life from that really important stage of life.
My little Kieran is 14 now. I've been with him for 3 years, and if he graduates from high school, when he graduates from high school, it'll be the biggest thing that I will have ever been a part of, period. Besides meeting her, but.
The event that we got involved with United Way last fall was specifically around making sure that those who were encouraged or inspired to go to college after high school had the financial support to do that. And I think Brian and I both felt really strongly about that because that's, he's got a doctorate. I have a degree in marketing that is where I got my start in my career, and we want to make sure that everybody has some of that same luck. Where we can give our time, where we can give our talent, and where we can give our treasure is also where we give our voice. And I think that to us is the grow. You can impact so much by what you put into the coffers, but it's when you add a megaphone to that and ask for other people to give is when that really spreads into the community.